See if I don't try not to waffle too much.
I am Laura. My name's Diana.
I'm Dave.
I'm Paige Hadfield.
I'm David.
My name's Jordan Lewis.
My name is Natalia.
My name's Greg Robertson.
My name's Callum Fraser.
My name's Chris Wilson.
I'm Patricia.
So I'm Jack Bromley.
I'm Andy Maysfield.
My name is Molly Prosser.
Yeah, I'm Mark Joins. I live in London, and I actually joined the society. I was a massive fan of the band While She Sleeps, and basically, I'd say what I love about it is the sense of community. You really feel that you're part of the band.
It's an amazing way to connect and inspire each other.
And I think the best thing about the society for me is the community that it's brought together.
The thing I like the most about the society is being able to support my favourite band and also meeting like-minded people, making new friends and just getting the experience of all of this.
It just means so much to me that it's just not music, not only music, but I really met friends through the Sleep Society. I'm like trying to speak out from my heart because it really means so much to me.
From the moment I joined and going on the Discord and everything, it just made me feel so much better, like within myself. Just talking to other people, meeting other fans, seeing what the band is doing behind the scenes. So I just wanted to see more of that, and it literally got me through lockdown, and I'm so grateful for that. So it's been a great part of my life for the past year.
Talk to me about, I guess, the beginnings of that idea. How did you first start putting together what has now become the Sleep Society?
Streaming services have done nothing but amazing things for bands, but at the same time, people are putting 2 years worth of work, thousands and thousands of pounds into these records just for them to be released for free.
The way that we digest our music as music lovers is completely changed to how it was 10, 15 years ago. And we personally feel like the industry hasn't really changed enough to help sustain that.
Sleep Society itself is this this community that we've built, which is like a subscription system, like a subscription-based model. We run it through Patreon. It's something we've always wanted to do to try and step away from the traditional music industry model.
The reaction from your fans has been incredible.
They literally saved the band.
We feel like this is a great way to support While She Sleeps if we matter to you as much as it matters to us, I guess.
We don't want to be in mansions with fucking fast cars. We just want to be able to do it for a living, and the Sleep Society is basically going to provide that for us.
Like I've said a few times now, but this is really all we know, and we really love it, and this is all we've got. So it's just like, yeah, roll on.
I think it's the project equivalent to having a baby. So many weird emotions when you launch something like this. Something you've been working on for so long and has been everything leading up to a moment, and then you're just like, boom, cat's out the bag.
There was so much work that went into the Sleep Society. We were working for months, trying to develop a back catalogue of content and just trying to figure out how we're going to operate it, and bringing in some crew members that we usually have on tour, like Daniel Barnes, who's like a content creator, needed somebody to kind of manage all that.
It was a bit nerve-wracking, but I think at the time we felt like we needed to take some risks within our industry to make it make sense for us.
This were a brand new idea for us, and as always, we always try to do something different when we release a record. We don't just want to release the music, we'd like it to have some substance and a story, something you can get behind, to really give the campaign a life of its own rather than just the music, which is a shame sometimes because it'd be nice just to release the songs, but I think it creates, it gives it just some more depth, so we always strive to do that.
We had it kind of planned out a bit before the pandemic, so kind of a good timing that came in.
Seeing it accelerate to a place I was hoping it was going to get to within a year in a matter of minutes or an hour was super overwhelming. Because we had no idea how the project was going to do, and my goals in my head and my targets of where it would hopefully be. It just got to that within the first night. So I definitely woke up the next day being like, we need to work out how to manage this and how to fulfill it properly. We suddenly have all these people supporting our band and contributing towards the cause. Like, let's make sure that we give these guys the coolest experience that we physically can deliver.
It is 7 a.m. on Monday, the weekend after Sleep Society is launched, and it's been fucking insane. Don't really know how to explain how mental it's been, but yeah, it's been insane. I can't believe how many people have got on board, which is just the coolest thing in the world. Again, being proved over and over, and I already thought we had the coolest fan base ever, and then now I have another reason to believe that even more. So yeah, nuts. I'm on my way to go and start working out how on earth we send all you lovely people stuff in the post, because we sold way more shit than we expected to. So my job today is to start working out how to get stuff out to you guys. You'll hear from me soon.
The nervousness turned into excitement after we launched it and seeing people's reactions to it and just seeing that they were behind us 100%. And yeah, they just came in so fast. And then that was a little bit of a reality hit then, because we were like, oh fuck, like after this weekend, we've got to come on Monday, and now we've generated a full-time job for ourselves on top of being in a band's a full-time job anyway. But yeah, we wouldn't have it any other way. It's amazing.
We kind of announced to the fans that we're doing like a press campaign regarding the future of While She Sleeps, and we worded it in such a way that it could lean towards the negative. So that was my initial idea with it was, who wouldn't want to tune into some live event of us talking about the future of our band? But that really got the fans worried. It got us worried. It was an edgy moment for us. But it was really worth it, because that whole like fear, anticipation, like almost tricking the fans, tricking the internet of what's going on. And then we dropped it, and it was so fucking worth it.
Thank you all for coming. As you know, 3 days ago, we broadcasted a message to music listeners all over the world, marking the beginning of a new era for our band, While She Sleeps. We are building a new music industry model where the artist can survive and where the fan gets what they deserve. The two things that matter most. Together, we can take the power back and rebuild the system from the ground up. We want to be the voice for artists just like us all over the world, and we're asking for you to join us. We'll now be taking questions.
I think the main thing I remember is the space that we used for the video. It was huge. It's one of the biggest music videos we've done, but also it was one of the most intimate ways that we've released an album. So it was really good to see that sort of juxtaposition between the two sides coming in.
Yeah, just those first few meetings, it was nice to get Tom and Tay up and then just like brainstorm ideas. And as the brainstorms and the ideas were developing, yeah, it was just really exciting. It was like, okay, this is going to be really cool to pull off. And yeah, so obviously that came with just trying to find the appropriate venue for it.
All I remember from making Sleep Society video was just a huge list of logistics and things that I'd never done, but were like, okay, how do we find a room this big? How do we find somewhere where we can have this banner that's like 3-4 stories tall, and how do we drop it? And I went down all these different paths of like, can we build a scaffolding building to drop it off of? And I'm ringing people being like, hi, can you, I want to build an 11-meter tall scaffolding structure inside a building. How much will that cost me? And just ringing round, asking outlandish questions to people, which is always what I find myself doing on music videos.
I was just like, how the fuck did we get here? Like, what is this about? So that's one thing I definitely remember, is just the sheer scale of it. But we kind of planned that from the very beginning. We're like, look, we need to make a fucking massive statement. And that's what you have to do at the start of a campaign. You need to make sure it fucking slaps hard, man.
It was really cool, to be honest. Like, so much stuff going on. I think we thrive under like pressure, and we like a lot of things on our plate as much as we might think we don't.
There was like a couple of ideas being thrown about, but then when Loz showed us this picture, obviously it was literally like the performance part of the video was shot in an Amazon warehouse, just a big empty warehouse, and it just so happens that Loz's friend, and our friend really, but Loz's like main point of contact, Scott Cardwell, he has affiliations or like knows the right people because like he works in the council. So Loz managed to snag us that venue for like almost next to nothing.
And just all the different tasks of being like, how do we even move around a venue like that? We're gonna have to get a car that we can mount the camera to the outside of, and we're gonna have to get a structure this big to drop the banner off, and we're gonna have to get a banner made, and we want to do 4 cabs tall. How do you even put the 4th cab on when you're doing it that tall? And like scaling things up to a level that we've never done before, which was really exciting because it's like, that feels like the band's getting bigger. It feels like this thing that we've made is growing, which is such a nice feeling.
We wanted to make sure that the information that was coming across from that video was a strong and powerful one. And I think that's what we achieved. It was really great to have the press conference at the beginning of it as well, to really sort of give the info and give our reasoning, if you like, and the passion that we had behind sort of the album.
I just remember first walking into that place, and just, it was crazy how big it was. And like, when you walked like the other side of the room, it was almost like an optical illusion, like the people would get smaller because you'd see the place without anybody in it, and you can't really fathom how big it is. But then when you see somebody in the distance, it was so weird.
This idea of the fucking flag unraveling while we're playing, like that was all preconceived, and that was all kind of contrived before, so.
I guess I had like certain responsibilities on this music video because I was like the B unit who shot like most of the narrative of people watching what was happening in the performance area on their phones or in the devices or on TV or whatever. So can't remember what days we shot that video, but it was very soon after. Me and Loz spent like the next week or something, like just picking up all these extra shots. So yeah, it was very tiresome, but obviously very worth it.
Launching the society and then having the album to work on kind of was perfect, really, because although it was a lot of work at the same time, it was a perfect opportunity to involve people with what is probably the most exciting part of being in the band. It's the actual making of the music and the moment when these ideas are coming to fruition.
We've always kept things very much to ourselves in terms of teasing new music and stuff, and it's really served us well, like keeping that together and like only releasing really small bits of music really close to the release and generating lots of hype. We've always loved that, but I don't know, just the way how fast the world is moving these days, it felt really nice just to not hold anything back, and that's what we did at the beginning and still in the Patreon. Is we just, if I write a riff and it's going on the record, Barnsley will just film it and we just post it in there, because I'm like, that's what they deserve by doing this for us and, you know, subscribing monthly to us. So I'm like, just fucking show them the riff. Whereas a few years ago, I'd be like, don't show them the riff, it's not out yet. You can't show them the fucking riff, you're gonna give it away. But now, it's almost like the Patreon's like opened me up, being like, to be less precious of my material and just like get it out, you know what I mean? So it's kind of inspired me the way I've been writing new stuff as well. It's just made me be like, just write shit, get it out, and life's short, so that's kind of why.
We started seeing how great it could work between there being full transparency almost between a fan base and the band involved. Like it was really great to see and really great to have the interaction and have the fans right there with us. I think they really enjoyed getting to see into our world from our side of things.
As the Sleep Society got released and the first few weeks and months of the Patreon, as we were still in the studio, we were going live, putting up polls so people could decide if they wanted like a specific part in a song, like a drum fill or whatever, like which one do you prefer?
That was really insightful for us, just to know actually what you guys want. So it was a really cool way for us just to see what you guys either prefer or, you know, what way we should do things.
I think it was really nice to be like, we're going live in the studio, here's what we're doing, here's this part we're recording, what do you think of it? And like instantly feeling like we let loads of people into our house.
You know, we've been in the band for so long, and we've done it ourselves where we just feel like we've seen kind of every studio diary out there and like in every kind of format. So we tried to do that a little bit differently, where we were like watching the content and then like doing narration. We did it in kind of like a Modern Family kind of way, where it was almost like, yeah, it's like us like watching the content and then narrating about it because we were watching it.
Instantly felt like these people who had joined were part of this big team, and we're making this record together and working on this project, not just with the 5 of us anymore, but with like thousands of people, which is crazy to say now, but yeah, it worked well, that thing, even if it was a lot of work at the time. When we were releasing You're All You Need, we thought about this idea, trying to get this society involved in like basically like working as this giant online street team.
It was basically the concept of it's you guys that support us and we need you to, you know, help promote it and actually get involved with it.
I'm a big fan of the movie Fight Club, and we always use that film for lots of references for different things. And one of them that I've always wanted to do was, in Fight Club, he gives out homework assignments. And I've always wanted to do that somehow, and the Sleep Society was like the perfect opportunity to do that. We're already working together, we're making the music, those guys are funding it, they're supporting it, making it possible. And then it took another level forward where they were essentially being our little underground press agents.
The way the internet is now, everything's like part of an algorithm, and it's kind of just getting like saturated by this financially orientated thing of, if you want your post to be seen, you kind of need to be like sponsoring it, or which is just like, it sucks. You are faced with that decision of like, do you say, well, fuck that, I don't want anything to do with it, or okay, like if that's the game, then like how do we play it, but whilst like trying to fuck the system at the same time, basically. And if we know how the machine works, can we cheat it a little bit? So we had everyone playing the game so that like everyone responds or posts the same thing or attacks one post with like comments and shares and saves and things like that, so that like the campaign is being worked on by like us and the fan base.
I think what's really fun is that when I was younger, you would have, you know, you might sign up to be sort of a street teamer, and you'd go down to local shows or like shows that you're in a city, and you would be handing out like flyers for bands that you liked. And I think in a strange way, it's like the modern day version of that, you know, like the guys that are in the Patreon, they're very, very passionate about what we do and the songs that we put out and the music that we make and the message that we deliver, as are we. So it makes sense to have the people that like love it as much as we do help promote it. And I feel like it's just an amazing thing to be able to say, look guys, we're launching this thing at a certain time, like let's get behind it and you know, help promote it with us. And I think, you know, everybody loves that, and it works for both sides of the coin.
So they're posting artwork and date releases and stuff, and people that follow them will be like, how the fuck do you know this? And it's like that need to know secret club thing. It's like, if you know, you know, and I've always liked that feeling.
And it was the first time we realized, like, fucking hell, like this is the power that this community can have, like with the way that we've got it set up. So yeah, it was pretty cool. We always try and like get everybody involved. Like on You Are We, some of the perks was, you know, come and do gang vocals with us. But yeah, obviously at the time of finishing and wrapping the album, the COVID's still a thing, but the restrictions were a lot tighter then. So Sean was like, it'd be so cool to get the Society members in as a guest on the album. So he had this idea of putting out the video, asking everybody for their entries, and then he would take time and layer them all up.
We have something really cool that we want to involve you guys with.
Light bulb moment.
we have this section on what's probably going to be the last song on the record. The song is called Call of the Void.
It's true.
We basically want to give you guys the opportunity to sing on it with us. So we are basically doing this thing where we're going to give you two parts to the vocal, a lower harmony and a higher harmony, whichever suits your voice more, and we want you guys to record you singing this. You can do it on your phone, and what you're going to do is send that file to us. We're going to put them all together, and we're going to have you guys be in our fucking choir.
And do you know what the coolest thing is? This lyric is from our first ever song. In the middle, I don't know, maybe 60% through writing Call of the Void, I thought it'd be so cool. All these ideas kind of gelled together all at once. I'm like, imagine if this was the last track, and then imagine if we used the biggest line, biggest lyrics of our first ever song as a band, which is Crows. Give me your hand! This is the end! Give me your hand, this is the end. Imagine using that, which is basically the start of our career, and putting it on the very back end of our latest record that's completely funded by the fans. And not only that, get the fans to sing it. And they were just, not just the fans, the Sleep Society that made the entire thing possible in the first place.
We quickly made a very basic explanation of here's how you could record something without it having the bleed of the track in it. And here's these two different harmonies you can sing. And then you send us your audio, and then we start receiving audio and stacking this Pro Tools file with 250 people sending their audio recordings in. Suddenly it feels like we're in a venue listening to 250 people sing together, and actually made it feel like we were super connected and together, even though that had been done remotely.
Millions of artists have fan bases, and they probably address them saying, you're the best. But that is something that we've always tried to resonate with our fan base. This is the sixth. The sixth tally is that sixth member, and we're not dancing around the fact that without people helping us and being involved in the band and supporting us from then, we wouldn't be where we are now, and it wouldn't have given us that support network, that foundation to grow to be the band we are now. So that's something that always continually runs through our message, is the unity. It's something that brought me into metal in the beginning, is the sense of unity at live shows, and being around people that feel different but are into the same things as you are. And that's what I personally wanted from the Sleep Society, and that's why it's important to us to have input and get the Sleep Society involved in songs. Well, I think initially Sean came with the idea for the song, and it sort of resonated with me really heavily. I had a bit of a sort of a down time, if you like, and I was feeling a bit shitty, if you like, and heard the song demo form and was like, this has to be put out. So then we started working on the song, and when you're working on music and you're surrounded by it, developments happen constantly, and we got to the point where we were like, it's something that needs to be more widely spoken about. So I think we put that into the Sleep Society and just kind of said we know we're not the only ones that feel like this. This is supposed to be a safe space for you to be as well as us. And it kind of made sense within the society to have an open forum where people can just say, look, I'm fucking not cool. Or look, I don't feel great. And I think there's always sort of feelings that you feel like you need to hide. When someone says, yo, what's up, are you all right? And you kind of go, yeah, I'm cool. Not everyone's cool, and that's as simple as it is. So we wanted to open up an open forum for people to come in and be able to sort of speak freely with no judgment about different things that have had huge impacts on their life.
Nervous Era was a huge look at mental health, and a time when I feel like it needed to be talked about, because COVID had been a thing for about a year at that point, and just like any kind of trauma, like when COVID happened, everybody had to be locked indoors. A lot of people live on their own. A lot of people don't do well on their own with their mental health, and I think any kind of trauma like that can have a delayed reaction, and I feel like it was kind of seeping through the cracks at that point, at that specific time.
We did like a video call with everyone. I think this was a Revolution one, and we did like a call about what the song was about and telling everyone that it's kind of about, we're in this crazy pandemic world. At the time it was like people were locking down and no one had been out and done much. The song felt really natural to release at that point anyway, but then we thought it'd be a really good opportunity to like try and get people talking, especially inside society. So we did this like video call, and everyone really opened up on it about like difficult situations they're in and difficult times they're experiencing or experienced. I think that was just like scratching the surface on it. And then the community of Sleep Society anyway now has all these like micro communities inside it who are like leaning on each other and talking to each other when they don't feel good, because like in those beginning conversations people are like, oh, I was in a situation like that, or I used to suffer from the same thing. That's something we have as a common ground. Let's start talking to each other. And I like to think that that song and that campaign opened a few doors for people and made it feel a bit more normal.
We didn't want to use mental health as a marketing tool to raise this song into the position where it was. It was like the other way around. It's like we want this song to shine the light on mental health and anybody who's struggling to be more open about what's on their minds and how they're feeling. And that's why we tried to do a little bit of an advert before that and like get some society members in. Well, they weren't just society members, they were like friends and family, some society members, some just Sleeps fans. And we got them in just to like for like a group therapy session, and they were just, you know, we wanted to have like an open chat just about mental health, and it was a safe space, and we didn't, you know, there was no stigma, no judgment there.
We asked a couple of questions about kind of mental health and their journey through life and the things they'd gone through, and to be honest, it like really affected me in a special way, in a sense of just hearing other people's stories and the things they've gone through and how strong people had been. And, you know, just people's stories of overcoming mental health was super inspiring personally to me, and I know it affected the guys. So that was really cool, just to, you know, be one-on-one with the fans and not just sharing a connection through music. It was quite on a personal level. So that were really cool that they'd opened up and shared it with everyone really online as well as us.
First show back, download, got the phone call about, would you guys be interested in being part of the government's pilot festival, or the first festival the government are going to let happen? I literally remember a phone call and was just like, haven't played a show in almost 2 years, like, hell yeah, of course I want to play. Don't care when, don't care what slot. If we can play in front of people after all this time of not, like, how good's that going to be? Crazy set of emotions playing that show, because it was like, the last time we'd played a show, the idea of Sleep Society was just in our head. It was just this idea that we were like, oh yeah, when we have some time, let's put our energy into that, and let's take it from being an idea to a real thing. The next time we play a show, we're walking out to the sound of Sleep Society, and the first lyric that we sing is Sleep Society. It's this song. It's the first song we've released from the record, and there's like a field of people shouting it back. It would have been overwhelming just to play a show again, but to play a show, and so much have changed within our camp. Everyone in that field, by whether they're part of the society or whether they've just listened and stuck with the band through these 2 years, it felt like this huge win for us and for everyone there, that like this thing we've made has worked to the point that we have this fan base in this field, and like they're singing the new songs. Like, I remember the show, but I also don't remember any of the show because I was just like tunnel vision, adrenaline.
Yeah, we were getting ready to play our first show at Download, and there was like a lot of prep that went into that, obviously, because it'd been like 18 months or something since we played at that point. And yeah, we were just letting fans in on that via like live streams at the rehearsals.
It was really cool when we finally got to play a few shows and go on the UK tour, that we could take you guys along for the ride. and just kind of show you what goes into putting on a show, from literally getting in the van in the morning to unloading, and yeah, because there's a lot of stuff I guess you guys might not see.
Society got to, again, see in depth about how we run things, especially in the live show. So like, a lot of people don't even know that we play to a click track, which is like a metronome that keeps us in time. And then we have a few backing tracks, like we have some bass booms, we have some like sub bass, we have like a few elements like pianos and stuff that we can't play live. We all play to these tracks in our ears, and people don't know that, so we get to show them how that works. And Barnsley like puts these edits together to show what like Sav will hear in his ears, to show what the crowd hears and stuff like that. And I do like little cues to count me into things, little cues to count Loz and Matt in, like I'll be like, Loz, get ready, 1, 2, 3, 4, and stuff like that, that I think from the outside, people just don't know that, and I assume everyone knows, but they don't.
Seeing people that you've bonded with inside Sleep Society and talked to on these Zoom conversations and seen in the comments, because we really do read like everything that goes on in there, and I feel like I know so many of you inside Sleep Society that playing these shows and seeing all these people, they felt like so much closer than a usual show. It felt like a proper like team.
I think during lockdown, the Sleep Society was a godsend in that we didn't just stop touring and we're just writing music. We were writing music, but we also had this awesome project to work on. And then I think as shows sort of came back, it was really great to see like how that had affected other people. We'd see people at these like underplay shows that we did that were just like, the society is great. Like, it's a community of like people that are into metal. And it's amazing to think that during the lifespan of this band, we've created something that leans on the reasons that I got into metal and singing in a band in the first place, which is community. For that reason, we love it. And the feeling that we're getting back from the people involved is that they love it as much as we do, which is amazing. So keep it fucking metal, you fuckers.
Yeah, so we've been back in studio recently. No one knew about this. And usually it's almost like you do the hype on your main socials and out to everyone and show people riffs and get people excited. But we didn't. Our socials were almost like a bit of a mirage, because we're posting like normal on the mains, on main Instagram and Facebook and stuff, but then inside the society, they're getting like brand new riffs. They're hearing like brand new chorus lines and stuff like that. They're hearing new songs in there and no one knows about it, which is pretty cool.
We're trying to make it as much of a fly on the wall experience as we can. So we try and involve them in every stage, at every step of the way, which is really fun. They get to see like us and our working, sort of our work ethic, and like how, you know, sort of how we work in a studio and practice. And we go live a lot, so they can see firsthand like what's going on behind the scenes. So it takes it one step further than like behind the scenes video, and they're actually in there with us doing it.
Society get to hear literally new shit before anyone else. You know, they're with us in the studio, working bits out, listening to stuff.
Normally it's this really secretive thing, and although it feels like it's still a really secretive thing for like main socials and like the public outside of society, but like loads of people are like inside and there's already excitement. Normally that excitement's just us and we haven't like shared it until we're like putting online saying, hey guys, we're in the studio. But this one is like, we're taking that excitement of loads of people to the studio with us because everyone knows we're going. And I think that was like, that left us with like a really cool energy in the studio to be like stoked with what we're doing, because we can feel this excitement around us rather than the usual clouds of excitement mixed with doubt of like, will there still be fans there when we've made this song? And like, will anyone care? Or like, will anyone like this? It's like, we're already getting response before everyone's heard the song, because we're giving people bits and bobs and we're saying, hey, like, here's these ideas.
Yeah, they got more like exclusive sneak peeks of people guesting.
It must be so nice for fans of the band to have that much say in what goes on. But at the end of the day, they're there supporting us, so why shouldn't they? We want to write music that our fans like, you know what I mean? So it's cool that they get to have that, that option, if you like.
You're only here because you care about Sleeps, and we're only sharing it because we care about you guys. So like, it feels really honest and trusting. So yeah, it made the studio really fun and took a bit of that like studio anxiety away.
we saw the first ever open day for the Sleep Society, which meant that anyone and everyone that was a member of the Patreon can come down to our warehouse and see where we hang out and be in the place that helps us create the music and gives us a place to live while we do so. Which I personally think is like an amazing thing, to be able to go to a band's sort of jam space and where all the creative stuff happens and get to sort of just hang out there.
From the very beginning of this whole society idea was the in-person activities that we came up with, the plans and the things that we wanted to do in person with the fans that had joined. But obviously because of COVID and the rest of the world was fucking imploding, we never had a chance to do any of that. So we recently had the chance to finally do an open day and get everyone down. And it was a fucking busy day. We were all just non-stop fucking grinding. But it was worth it, man. I've never done a workshop in my life in person. I'm very bad at public speaking. It's fucking frightened me my entire life. But I said I'd do it, and I tell you what, I'm really glad I did it. It was I really enjoyed it, and I'm definitely gonna do it again.
We're looking at the schedule all the time, and we're like, right, it looks like there's like a good moment where it was actually basically a year from launching the whole project, and we're like, we can almost throw like a party and integrate all these workshops and all these things we've been trying to do in person, and have this like wicked day where anyone who's a member can come. All of us will be doing different workshops and activities, different kinds of things, whether it's like a Q&A or a chat or like a workshop on a specific area, or like recording gang vocals, or like just jamming in our live room with our gear. And hopefully for all the different people who've met and they're like, hey, I play drums, I play guitar, like go in the live room and play together. This is what the whole thing was about. We're finally getting to a point where we can actually facilitate this idea, because all these fucking roadblocks aren't there that were there for the past year.
It was kind of surreal just to see everyone in the warehouse and just the energy that was there. It was just, I don't know, I can't really explain it. Everyone was just doing different stuff, and the whole place was buzzing, to be honest. And you know, it was quite an intense day for us, just because there were so many workshops going off, and you know, some of us would be finishing one and going straight into another. But like I said before, I think we peak off like being busy and kind of working with you guys. So like, it was just such a fun day.
Yeah, we did loads of stuff, like basically everything that we're offering in the society, like tutorials, like send in your items of clothes, like we'll do customizations. We did all that, but in person. So we all did workshops. I did like 2 filmmaking workshops, which was really cool, just to like, give like a lecture on what I know about filmmaking and whatever questions that they had.
So we had like archive footage of the band from sort of the very beginning to the end playing. We had like workshops happening, sort of art workshops where you could get like your jacket sprayed up. I did like vocal sessions where people came in and we tried to sort of help out on things that they were struggling with, and we did some like screaming and a bit of singing.
I did some branding design workshops with about 7 people. And we got to chat and you know, we'd chat about who's doing what and just developing ideas for different companies and stuff like that. So it was just wicked for me to hear some stuff that you guys are doing, and if there's any way that I could help at all, or we'd just be brainstorming some cool ideas and just sharing the things that we'd learned through running the Sleeps merch just with you guys. I also did like a drum workshop with about 8 people. So that was just awesome that I got to kind of chat through my gear, played a little bit of drums for them, got them on the kit, which was wicked, because you know, and there were different levels of skills, so really didn't matter if you wanted to come and just learn to play drums, or if you've never played drums. There were a couple of dudes who'd not even touched a drum kit before, so that was really special to see something maybe start from there.
And then we had the live room open just so people could go in there and just jam on our instruments, and that was just completely open for people just to jam with people that they probably never met, which was fun. The band Within Reach, who was like one of Matt's cousins, They've got a band and they've never played together before, so that was the first opportunity they got to play together in person, which was sick. So loads of cool things like that.
As much as a day where people can come and learn and people can come and enjoy things, it's more just like, let's just get everyone in a room and celebrate this thing is bigger than just on an app, on a website. It's a real thing, it's a real community. Everyone's coming, everyone gets to know each other. You might have been chatting on the internet. Let's bring everyone in person together and let's do a few cool things. Let's record gang vocals with everyone. Let's show you some of the new song and let's sing it together. That's one of my favorite memories of Sleep Society since it's launched, is singing the chorus to the new song before the rest of the world even know there's a new song. Hearing that sound in the warehouse, like singing the fucking roof off the warehouse. That for me is everything about what Sleep Society was trying to be.
Just to hear everyone chant the new lyrics for the song that no one else had really heard was just insane, really. I was sat outside at one point and the shutters were down and I just heard the voices shout, and that really hit me that we've kind of got something special going on here, that it's like nothing's out yet, no one really knows any of the tracks because it's not out online or anything. It's just the people in the society who know this, and they fucking smashed it. Like, they worked really hard at just getting the timings right, and it was just special. I think that's the word.
One last question. What does the future of the Sleep Society look like to you?
The future of the Sleep Society looks like the best fucking fan club in the world.
It's more than, an emotional crutch to us. I think, we've proven that, like, a lot of people rely on this. It's bigger than us five now.
It's a road that I don't know where it goes. And I'm not like, yeah, and then when that happens, it'll stop. I don't know where it goes, apart from I like making the content. I like being part of this thing. I like that we've created this thing, and I like seeing you guys enjoy it. So as long as that exists, it will continue in the same way that as long as we like making music and you guys like listening to it, the band will always be there.
It's hard to say which way we're going or where it'll lead, but as long as you guys are with us, I think that's the main thing.
My favourite bands growing up, what I would have given to be able to just ask my favourite guitarist what pickup he's using and how did he get that tone. I still want to ask my favourite guitarist that.
We've seen the model work for us in the UK. Now it's important for us to branch it out and see how it works in Europe. And while we're on tour, doing these like workshops on tour and stuff will be really interesting too. So it's exciting. It's great to see, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But I just like to say to the fans out there that are a member of the Sleep Society that you are the 6th member of this band. And it's great to see people that are as passionate about this band as we are.
I love the Sleep Society because it feels like a community of family rather than it just being a fan base of people.
It all just feels like a big family.
As a musician, there's so much to learn from, so if you want to know anything band-wise, you just get such a good scoop that you don't really get from other bands, really.
I just love the fact that it's brought so many people together. We've also set up our own private WhatsApp group, so it's kind of brought another smaller group of people together.
The way that I feel about it is that it's a direct way to interact with the artists.
The society to me is very inspiring. It's an amazing way to connect and inspire each other.
Best thing about it's definitely got to be the membership, the way that it's brought people together. I've just been saying to my girlfriend now, it's almost like a lot of introverts that don't really want to be coming out, but it's brought them together for something.
I've spoken to quite a few people in the Discord chat. It's nice to meet other people that listen to the same sort of stuff you do.
So I've made friends, I came up on my own, and yet at no point today did I feel isolated. I've been speaking to people that I've never met before, and I've made some more friends today.
For me, it's been life-changing. I started it just as I was going through a difficult patch myself, and started becoming a member as a Mutiny member, and it's the best money I pay.
I did make some good friends. I don't have a lot of friends, so that was amazing that I have friends I have a lot in common with. And I do feel a lot closer to the band, which I've never experienced before. And being pretty much my favorite band, it's just amazing.
It's a great way to look behind the scenes.
I think what you guys have done should set the foundations for a lot more bands, you know, up and coming, even existing ones, you know. I think it's just one of the better things to come out of the pandemic, really.
When obviously the pandemic struck and everything, people couldn't go out as much. There was a real lack of a sense of community, and I think when Sleep Society launched, it brought everybody together, especially Sleeps fans together, music fans, live music fans in general. It just created that sort of community. It's now like a family, really. It's a society.
I think it's very obvious that this is a very clear way of helping a band stay alive more than it ever would have done just by buying merch or just by buying their music, like whether it's a vinyl, a CD or whatever.
Music is just something that you really can connect with people over.
Getting to like go to shows with these people that we were like talking on Zoom with and like on our little WhatsApp group and everything, and just like feeling like, you know, in the past I've been to Sleep shows and it's been great being in the same crowd with people, but to actually know that there's people there that you're friends with, that you talk about Sleeps and everything with all the time, and just feeling that togetherness and that unity, you can't really put it into words. There's nothing you can say that would accurately describe it.
I hope this is the future for the music industry. As someone that wants to get into the music industry myself one day, it's a hopeful look into the future.
Everybody probably felt as if they were pulling their hair out and screaming about something and nobody was listening, but if you've got a society where people can get together and scream together, that makes a big difference.
Welcome. It's the difference of opinion, dreams,